Hey everyone, Mrs. Brady here, and for today's demo lesson, I am going to be showing you guys how to create your template. One of the things with that is that you actually have to get it approved before you can start cutting anything out. So the three things that are required from every sewing project is that somewhere on your sketch you have to show me where your button is going to be, you have to show me where your applique is going to be, and you have to show me where your back stitch is. So just as a reminder, we all know what a button is, hopefully. Your applique, that's just extra fabric that is applied on top of your background color. You can have these in multiple colors, and you can have applique on top of applique as well. That's perfectly fine. And the last thing is the back stitch. I have a little picture of it up here as well. This is obviously not fully in frame, so we'll turn that so you guys can see that. So for the back stitch, the reason why this one has to be in our design is because its purpose is for design purposes, not for functionality. So it's just for the way that it looks. It looks similar to that of a solid line, and it can be curvy or it can be straight. I can show examples of that whenever we get through actually sketching out our designs. So I'm going to start off with option 1, which is the bookmark. So that's going to be over here, so that's where I'm going to be going. So if you are choosing to make the bookmark, you need a front and a back. So on your template, you're going to see 4 different squares. You only technically need to use 2 of them. One will be the front, one will be the back. The back does not have to have anything on it at all. It is just so that it can close in on itself. So here are some examples of that. So here is a little coconut tree, but you have a front and a back. That way it slides over the corner of your book and holds where your spot is. So this is just 2 triangles with the design on just the front. Or you can have a square front with just a triangle back, and then it slides like that. Or it can build out into that design space. So my front and my back are just a triangle, but my item can come out into that space. So for option 1, I am going to draw you guys out what it could potentially look like, and I'm going to do that as a ladybug. So for my design, I know that I want just a triangle back, just because I feel as though that's pretty simple for me to do. So I can get rid of that. And I'm not going to put any design on it. It is going to be just my triangle. It's just the back, nothing on it. Whereas for my front, I am going to kind of have it go out into this design space. So I have the whole square to work with. I don't have to use all of that space though. So I want a leaf. And with that, that's where I am going to kind of close it off. So my project will look like that so far. And then I want a little ladybug on my leaf. So from this point, where are all the parts of my required design items? So my applique is the leaf and the body parts of the ladybug. We have 2 pieces now. Okay. So I have applique on top of applique here. My button is going to be the spots on the ladybug. And then my back stitching is going to be this line here on the ladybug. So that now looks a little bit messy, but because I know where everything is, it will help make my life a lot easier. All right, so moving on to our coffee cup sleeve, for those of you that are interested in that, what I need you to do right off the bat on your template is make a note that side's the top and that side's the bottom. I've had some students do this project completely upside down. Again, for this project, you will need a front piece and a back piece, with the back piece again is going to be completely blank, unless if you want to make two separate designs. That way it's reversible and you can go back and forth. In that case though, you would also still need a button on each side. But right off the bat with this one as well, you have a button on the far left or the far right. Just pick one side and stay consistent with it. But you already have where your button's going to be on your project. And then from there, you just need to identify applique and your back stitch. So maybe you really like cats or dogs. I'm gonna go with a cat here though. So maybe I wanna give my cozy ears. I can build those in to my template. So we've got little ears. We'll kind of sketch out what we want. So there is my kitty cat design. So my applique pieces, and then also the nose. So those would be all my applique pieces. My button obviously is over here on the side. If you want more buttons than that, you are welcome to. So if I wanted to make the eyes buttons, I could, but I don't have to. And then my back stitching is going to be the whiskers and the mouth. So those will all be done with my threaded needle. So that is option 2 of the coffee cup sleeve. And then option 3 is our create your own DIY. So I suggest using graphing paper for this, but if you don't have that at home, any paper will work. But whatever you do, you want to make sure that whatever size you sketch it out as, that is the size the final project's going to end up being. So again, if I wanted to make a ladybug, if I sketched it out that size, that's the size it would end up being. Whereas if I wanted it larger than that, I need to sketch it out to the size it's going to end up being. So this is to scale of whatever you end up cutting. And I'll explain why whenever we actually get to cutting out our stencils. But again on here, my buttons can be my polka dots. Then my back stitching will be the line. And then my applique. So the way that I would visualize this is that the whole piece would be, I'm gonna get a different color. So my first piece that I would cut would be the entire shape. So that would be the first initial cut. From there, I would add my applique or the bug's body as a second piece layered on top of my ladybug. That way it's all connected. When I go to cut it out though, I would fold my fabric in half. That way I get a front and a back that line up exactly perfect for lining them up later. So those are your 3 options, and that is what I am looking for your first submission from you guys so that you can get it approved so that you're able to continue moving on with your project. I hope that this made sense. If not, please always feel free to contact me and we can set up a Zoom during WIN period, which is Monday through Wednesday at 9:47 until 10:24, or during our open office hours on Fridays during our optional Zoom time or in the afternoons. Thanks, have a great day. I hope this made sense. I look forward to seeing your guys' sketches.